The missing piece to the law of attraction and what most people don't understand is that there's going to be a period of time that feels so bad, confusing and lonely. And there are times before you move into the next level that is just going to feel extremely uncomfortable, very disheartening, and sometimes just lonely. I've experienced this throughout my entire life when I am moving into a new level of identity because the law of attraction is really getting your identity to a certain state. You want to move your identity to a certain state, and that's the state that you want to draw into you. There's a different level of beingness that is required to get to that next level. And as we're moving into that next level, there's going to be a gap and it's going to be extremely uncomfortable. And what tends to happen in this gap, and if this is not happening, your life is not moving. What tends to happen in this gap is people fall away, jobs change, clients change, partners shift, friends shift. And this is something that for a long time in my life, I didn't understand what was happening with me. I've never had any sort of consistency in my life. There's not that one person that I can say has been in my life throughout every single phase of my life. There's no one's been there, right? It's always been just me. And I looked at that, and at one point, I felt sorry for myself. I felt, why is it that these people can have these friends from when they're young and have the same group of friends? And for me, every few years that cycles out, like the old groups, old friendships are gone, old partners are gone, and then new ones come in. And then after they disappear, and then new ones come in. And for a long time, I felt bad about that until I realized what was going on, until I realized that I kept shifting. I kept shifting. So naturally, if I'm shifting, my vibration is shifting, my frequency is shifting. Where I am now is so drastic to who I shift to that, of course, everything in my reality has to reorganize itself. I didn't feel good about myself as a child. I was getting very inappropriate messaging from my parents, and it's not their fault, right? My mom was a major victim, very feminine, but major victim. So the modeling wasn't good. I wasn't getting healthy, feminine modeling. And my dad put me down a lot. Again, no, it's not their fault. My dad was trying to protect me, but he would send me messages that started to interact with my own belief system. And I started to feel bad. When you get messages as a child, because I'm a very bubbly woman, right? I was a very bubbly child. But when you're getting messages that you shouldn't smile, you shouldn't be bubbly, people are going to make fun of you. When you get messages like that, you start to grow up thinking that something is not right with you. It's not resonating with your own inner self. And so I come from that space. And then moving into high school, I tried to commit suicide. I lived in government housing with my mom. I was in a very bad state. So from that point is when things started to shift with me. At one point, I woke up. I realized, wow, I'm an ego. I'm stuck in this pain. I'm a victim. And I started to consciously change my life. I was no longer in touch with my family at that point. I moved out of government housing. I lived with my mom, and it was extremely traumatic for me. I got a studio apartment. I put myself through law school. And during all these phases of my life, people would come and people would go, right? And as I said, I felt bad. I didn't understand, like, where are these people, right? When I need them, or I'm going through a transition, everyone's gone, everyone disappears. And then I realized, because I'm entering this new season again, I'm entering this new phase again, that in order for us to reach another level, in order for us to shift our identity, everything has to dismantle. And so what will generally happen, and this is what most people don't understand about the law of attraction, is when there's movement in your life, there's going to be a period of unrest, right? It cannot be any other way. So my identity as a lawyer, I was with my ex, like I was a certain person. I had a certain group of friends. That's who I was. Like that was Farine. In order for me to move into a dating and relationship coach, that version of me had to die. And with that came pain. With that came a loss of employment. I left the law firm. My partner and I at the time, we split. And all the friends that I had at that point somehow disappeared. As I continue to develop, new desires come through, and there's something within me that wants to reach that new state. And I'm entering that phase again. So what tends to happen is the Farine that wants to move into the next level, which is natural, it's a natural progression in life to want to continue to grow. That freeing has to become the state and the identity and in the state of that new version, right? Right now, I'm a fiance. I want to become a wife. There's all these other goals that I have in my life. And in order for me to reach those goals, I had to embody that version of myself. And so, what people don't understand is that when you're moving through this transition, you're going to lose people. The clients aren't going to feel aligned. The work is not going to feel aligned. The people aren't going to feel aligned. The friends aren't going to feel aligned. Your vibrations are shifting. Your vibration of where you are now to the version of yourself that is up here is it's different. It's a different frequency, it's a different vibration. And therefore, there's going to be some dismantling happening. You might leave a relationship. That relationship might conflict with the identity that you have now. So if you start to empower yourself, you feel good about yourself, you feel worthy about yourself, and you are moving into the next level of yourself, and you're with a partner that is consistently criticizing you, putting you down, doesn't feel good about themselves, that's not going to vibe anymore. That's not going to feel good. And in order for you to reach that other state where you are with a partner that encourages you, that motivates you, that supports you, and is also very interested in their personal growth, this relationship has to end. In order for you to meet people that are aligned in this frequency where we are, it's going to start feeling incongruent because you're on your way up here. So this is a huge part of the law of attraction that most people don't understand. They think that in order to attract your dream life, it's going to be great. It's going to be dandy. There's always been some sort of struggle. Now, as you're moving up in terms of your level of consciousness or awareness, because that's where you attract everything, it gets easier, but it becomes easier because now you have a vantage point. You know what's going on. You understand what's going on. So you don't take things personally anymore. When you don't know what's going on, you take everything personally. When you have an awareness of, oh, okay, this must be my inner source, my inner being must want me to go to another state. And in order for me to get to that state, certain things have to fall away, certain ideas have to fall away, certain paradigms have to fall away. And, oh, this is so uncomfortable. But you know what? I'm going to embrace the discomfort because I know that this is just a small segment of time that I'm in this phase. And once I move through this phase, and as long as I hold true to my next identity, I will move into that next level version of me.